At first, it just felt like a normal shift. Just empty hallways, quiet rooms, nothing unusual. But then small things started happening, things that didn't make sense. And the scary part is, the people who work there see things guests never do. These are 3 hotel worker stories that felt a little too real. Story 1. The calls from room 308. I used to work night shifts at a hotel. Worst hours possible. Quiet, slow, and honestly, creepy sometimes. Most nights were the same. Check people in, answer calls, sit there until morning. Nothing special. But there was one night I still think about. It started around 1 a.m. The hotel was mostly quiet. Few guests left awake. Lobby empty. Just me at the desk. Then the phone rang. Internal line. I answered. Reception. Silence. I frowned. Hello. Still nothing. Then, breathing. Very faint, like someone standing close to the phone. I waited. Can I help you? I asked. No response. Then the line cut. I checked the screen. Room 308. I sighed. Probably drunk guests messing around. Happens all the time. So I ignored it. A few minutes later, the phone rang again. Same room. I answered. Reception. Silence again. Then, a voice. Quiet. Almost whispering. Can someone come up? I sat up slightly. What seems to be the issue? No answer. Just breathing again. Then the line cut. I frowned. That felt off. But part of the job is checking things. So I grabbed the master key. Took the lift up. 3rd floor. The hallway was empty. Quiet. Too quiet. I walked toward room 308. Lights dim. Carpet muffling every step. Then I noticed something. The room was slightly open. Just a small gap. My chest tightened slightly. That wasn't normal. I knocked gently. Reception. No response. I pushed the door open slowly. The room was dark. Completely dark. I reached for the light. Turned it on. Empty. No luggage. No guests. Bed untouched. Bathroom empty. Nothing. I frowned. Checked the system on my phone. And my stomach dropped slightly. Room 308. Wasn't occupied. No one was checked in there. I stood still for a second, looking around, that uneasy feeling creeping in. Then, the room phone rang, right beside the bed. I froze, just stared at it, ringing loudly in the empty room. My chest tightened. Slowly, I picked it up. Silence. Then, my own voice. From earlier. Reception. I felt cold instantly. Then the breathing started again. Closer this time. Like someone was standing behind me. I turned around. Nothing there. The room empty. Then, the bathroom door creaked. Slowly opening. I backed away immediately. Heart racing now. Because I knew. I checked that bathroom already. And it was closed before. I didn't wait. I left the room. Fast. Pulled the door shut. Walked quickly back toward the lift. Then, the phone in my pocket rang. Reception calling me. I answered immediately. It was the manager downstairs. Why are you in 308? He asked. My chest tightened. How do you know that? Pause. Then he said quietly, because someone's standing behind you on the CCTV. I turned instantly. The hallway was empty. Completely empty. I looked back at the phone. What? But the line had cut. I got in the lift. Went straight downstairs. Told him everything. He checked the booking system again. Room 308 had been empty for weeks. No guest. No booking. Nothing. But when we checked the CCTV footage, I was standing outside the room alone. Completely alone. No one behind me. No one in the hallway. Nothing. Except for one thing. As I entered the lift, the door to 308 slowly opened by itself. I quit a month later, because I still don't know who was calling from that room, or who was breathing on the other end of the phone. Story 2. The room that was never booked. I worked housekeeping for about 6 months. Mostly mornings. Simple routine. Clean rooms. Change sheets. Move on. Nothing exciting. But one room still sticks with me. Room 512. It started like any other day. I got my list. Checked the rooms that needed cleaning. Most were normal checkouts. Then I noticed 512. No guest name beside it. Just a room number. I frowned. That was unusual. Every occupied room normally had details. I figured it was just a system issue. Didn't think much of it. So I grabbed my cart. Took the lift up. 5th floor. The hallway was quiet. Too quiet. No TVs. No voices. Just silence. I reached room 512 and noticed something straight away. The door was already open. Just slightly. My chest tightened a little. Housekeeping hates that. Guests sometimes leave doors open by accident, but something about it felt wrong. I knocked gently. Housekeeping. No response. I waited. Nothing. So I pushed the door open. Slowly. The room was dark. Curtains shut. Air cold. Way colder than the hallway. I stepped inside. Hello. I called out. Silence. I reached for the lights. Clicked them on. And froze. The room looked used. Bed messy. Bathroom light on. Suitcase near the wall. Like someone was staying there. But the strange part. Everything looked old. Not dirty. Old. Like it hadn't been touched in years. The wallpaper slightly peeling. The TV outdated. Even the furniture looked different. Like the room didn't match the rest of the hotel anymore. My chest tightened slightly. That wasn't possible. The hotel had been renovated recently. Every room looked modern. Except this one. I stepped further in. Then I heard it. Water running. From the bathroom. I froze. Someone was in there. Sorry, I said quickly. I thought the room was empty. No response. Just the sound of running water. I backed toward the door slightly, waiting for someone to come out. But no one did. The water kept running. Steady. Constant. Then, the mirror in the room caught my attention. Because in the reflection, the bathroom door looked open. But when I looked directly at it, it was closed. My chest tightened instantly. I looked back at the mirror. Open. Back at the real bathroom. Closed. I felt cold all over. Then the water stopped. Silence. Heavy silence. Then, a voice. From inside the bathroom. Quiet. Come in. I didn't move. Didn't breathe properly. My heart was racing now. Maintenance, the voice said again. Slow. Almost calm. Something about it felt wrong. Like it wasn't really talking to me. Then the bathroom handle moved. Slowly. I stepped back immediately. The door opened slightly. Just enough to show darkness inside. No light. No movement. But I felt it. Someone was there. Watching. I turned and left. Fast. Pulled the door shut behind me. Nearly hit my cart running back down the hallway. I got downstairs. Told the manager everything. The room number. The voice. Everything. And his expression changed instantly. What room? He asked. 512. He stared at me for a second. Then shook his head slowly. We don't have a 512. My chest tightened. What? This hotel only goes up to 511. I felt sick instantly. I argued with him. Told him I'd just been there. He took me back upstairs himself. Same floor. Same hallway. But when we reached the end, there was number 512. Just a blank wall. No door. No room. Nothing. Like it had never existed. I quit not long after that. Because I know what I saw in that hallway. And I know someone spoke to me from inside that room, even though the room wasn't supposed to exist. Story 3. The Man on Every Floor. I worked hotel security for almost a year. Mostly night shifts. Watching cameras. Walking floors. Boring most of the time. Until that night. The hotel was quiet. Almost empty. Maybe a few guests awake. Nothing unusual. I was in the security room, watching the CCTV monitors, half paying attention. Then I noticed him. A man standing near the lift on floor 2. Still. Just standing there. I frowned. Not because he looked suspicious. Because he wasn't moving. At all. No phone. No bags. Just standing there. Facing the camera. I watched for a few seconds. Then the lift opened. A couple walked out. Walked straight past him. Didn't react. Like they couldn't see him. That felt strange. I leaned closer to the monitor. Then, another camera caught my attention. Floor 5. And my chest tightened instantly. The same man was standing there too. Same clothes. Same posture. Facing the camera. I stared at both screens. Floor 2. Floor 5. At the same time. That wasn't possible. I checked the timestamps. Live footage. No delay. I felt that uneasy feeling immediately. Maybe it was another guest. Someone who looked similar. That had to be it. Then another screen. Floor 8. And there he was again. Same position. Same stillness. My chest tightened properly now. 3 different floors. Same man. At the same time. I grabbed the radio. Called another guard. Can you check floor 2 for me? Why? Just check. A minute passed. Then his voice came back. There's no one here. I stared at the monitor. The man was still standing there. Visible. Clear as day. What do you mean no one's there? I'm literally at the lift, he said. There's nobody. My chest tightened. I switched cameras again. Floor 5. Still there. Floor 8. Still there. Then, every screen flickered. Just once. And when they came back, the man had moved. Closer. On every floor. My stomach dropped. Because I knew he hadn't walked. The footage never showed movement. He was just closer now. I called the guard again. Get downstairs, I said. Now. What's going on? Just get downstairs. I kept watching the screens. The man didn't move anymore. Just stood there. Closer to the cameras now. Then, one more screen lit up. The lobby. And there he was again. Standing near the reception desk. Facing the camera. My chest tightened instantly. Because the lobby was only a few meters away from me. I looked toward the security room door. Closed. Then looked back at the screen. The man was gone. From the lobby camera. Just gone. Every other floor still showed him standing there. But the lobby. Empty. Then, a knock. On the security room door. Slow. Heavy. My chest tightened. I didn't move. Didn't answer. Another knock. Then silence. I stared at the monitors again. Every screen was empty now. The man gone from all of them. Then the radio crackled. The other guard. His voice shaking slightly. Don't open the door. My chest tightened instantly. Why? A pause. Then, because he's standing behind you. I froze completely. Didn't turn around. Couldn't. I just stared at the monitors. And slowly, one of the screens came back on. The security room camera. Live footage. Showing me. Sitting alone. And directly behind my chair. A man standing perfectly still. Facing the camera. I don't remember leaving that room. I just remember being outside later. Breathing hard. The door still locked behind me. I quit the next morning, because I still don't know who was on those cameras, or how something could appear on every floor at once. Not every hotel room stays empty. Some things remain, quietly. If one of these did, you already know which one. There are more stories like this on my channel. If you're willing to keep going, subscribe if you think you can handle the next one. I'll see you again, if you're still paying attention.